gmail.com. Hello, right? There's a problem in the data within the database itself. So I say gmail.com update. So I mean, right now I have an access of the DB. That is where I'm directly going to the database and I'm going to fix the data here. But in general, right, we don't be having an access to this database directly. Okay, we won't be having access to the database directly. So that is where what we need to do is we are going to create a pages. For example, someone says that my email is incorrect. So in that case, you need for the product details, I directly go with the fake API store. Okay, so fake API store is having something called as products. This is the response what we have. I'm going to copy this guy. I'm going to create a local JSON. Server, I'll say public folder data, product data or JSON. Okay, so I go to this guy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new collection, which is product details. Okay, now under this collection, I'm going to add some data where I'm not inserting documents, where I'm directly going with importing the JSON here. Now, when I go with import JSON, okay, stop on errors and import. Now we see here, this is all the data which is already available inside your database now. Okay, now what I would like to do is I go to the server and under the server, I will try to create a web service. Under this routes, let's open our index.js and under the routes, I'm going to create a new file which is get product details.js file. Okay, this is the guy who will be responsible for getting the product details. Okay, now I say dot get product details. Okay, and we simply say this method. This is the common utility method we created, right? dbutil dot get MongoDB connection. What is the request dot body if you have any data? But request dot body is for post communication. So let's make it as post. What is the collection name you need to work with? You need to work with something called as product details. And you have to say find, isn't it? So I will say response, and the response is if the response is there, then I say if the response is there, I need to send the response back, isn't it? Success will be there. Along with this, I will say data as response. If the data is not there, then I say success will be false. I'll say success is going to be false. At the same time, message error while fetching data. DB. Okay. This is a simple change we have done for the web service. Let us see how we are going to get this. Now, how you are going to configure this web service here? The configuration of this guy is let's go into your app.js under this where product details router is required dot slash that. Okay, I'll say get slash product details. We get product details validator. Okay, so this is get product details. Okay, now I'm going to go for this product details. If you remember earlier, someone was saying in the last class we had a discussion. Post means you're going to post the data. Get means you're going to get the data. No, if you see here, I have already created a post data. Does it mean that I'm sending the data? No, I'm expected to receive the data here, isn't it? I'm expected to receive the data from this web service. So this is the web service. Now let's go into the client side. Under the client, let us go into the client side. Under the client, we created a component called as product details. Under the product details.tsx, what I need to do is I need to say some const product details is going to be set. Product details is going to be use state of array. Okay. Okay, now on the top, what is my API URL? Data URL is going to be so and so. And this guy, we can go with use effect. Dependencies, right now it is empty. Now I'm taking this data URL. We already created one of the common API call, right? Fetch API. Where was that? I think under your header, we have already used that. Header.tsx. Okay, so this is how we were using this response so and so equal to so and so. I'm doing the same guy. I'll simply say response is equal to await. So this is a problem again. You know, we created a hook in order to get the data, the fetch API. But that guy will be used working. Why the reason? We are going to use this API call or this predefined method under the hook here. And for this hook, I cannot make use of async because I'm not defining it, I'm invoking it, right? So then in that case, we can't make use of that hook. Instead, let me go with the default Axios. Axios.post. For that guy, we need to specify the data URL, comma, the object, what is headers, etc. information, dot, then, which is going to throw away the response, dot catch, where you're going to have the error. Okay. This one will go. Let us see how it's going to work. When I reload this guy is still 404. Headers, we are going for a post. Response, I'm not getting anything. Why the reason? Why the reason? Why this web service is not working? Web service is not responding in the sense, let's go to the client side. Okay, we need to check in your client side. App.js. This is the web service and this is the product details router. And this is the product details router. This coming. Get MongoDB connection, response.send. In that case, I don't even need this. Yeah, all good, right? Is the restart happen? Yes. Let's hit that guy once again. I'm still getting 404. Okay. In that case, let us make it as a get communication so that it will be easy to debug. Okay, after it works, then we can convert back into post. Let us make it as get communication. So get communication. If it is get communication, we can directly hit this URL within the browser itself, right? Localhost 3000. Your server is not on 5173. It is 3000. Okay, let us reload the page. Now same URL. Which one? Sorry, not this guy. Get product detail, product details.tsx. Fine, right? It is still throwing the same URL. It is not even hitting it. Why so? Unsupported protocol localhost. Don't say that. Localhost, why it is unsupported, man? Network details. If you see here, the response is coming like this. You're getting the data, the product details. Okay. Now what I have to do is response. Yeah, response dot data. Response dot data. Why response is undefined till here? It is undefined. Why so? But in the API, it has already called, it has already got the response. Is it so? No, I need to go for app.js. Whatever the URL I have, that is what I need to go for.
So it's a get slash product slash details, and I think so you are hit.
Yeah, this is what I gave, right? I'll just strictly follow this because whatever the server path URL I give, that is what I'll go. But one thing is, params is one of the key what you need to pass in case of your post. And oh, in then I need to come with response, right? Then I don't need to have this guy. Okay, let us try this. Error while fetching data from database. What happened to you? Okay, now API communication happened successfully. You see, it is coming like error while data from DB. Okay, what you got the error, man? Okay, let's go to the web service now. Inside your server, get product details, get MongoDB connection. It is coming over here. Why so? product details. Get MongoDB connection. It'll come over here. Console log data. So the data is params. Oh, here when I'm saying params, I should not pass params here because I'm not passing any data here, right? In that case, when it is params, instead of that, what if like I just simply pass object? That will be enough, right? Because there is no key called as params in the database. Error while fetching data from database. Why so? We're still going like params. Why so? I haven't saved it. Data is going like so and so. Response.data. In case of your product details, instead of request.body, let us say an object. Pending. Okay, now you got the response. You see here, let's go with the object. You see, this is the data what I'm going to have. Okay, so I will ask this component just give me, okay, being part of online shopping React application developer, give a component which uses below JSON to create look and feel. Okay, let us see. So this is the component what he has given the look and feel. I'll do one thing. He has given one single component. Instead of this, I can also add like this. Being part of online shopping React application developer, give a component which uses below array of JSON objects to create look and feel category the component. Okay, let us a component. Okay, let us take this component and let us see how we can make use of it. We cannot make use of it as it is because if you see here is expecting some props. In our case, it's already there. Okay, for us, first of all, let us take out this UI. This is our main part, right? So return is so and so. Now your get product details, right? So this guy will be using this guy. But inside it is not products, it is product details. Product detail, okay. I'll say set product details as response.data. Okay, response.data. Now the product details is so and so. That's it. Let us save it, come back and reload the page. Anything missing? Product details dot map is not a function. Why the product details dot map is not a function? Product details dot, it is an array, right? I can make use of the map. Why the reason? But this guy also should be response dot data, right? In that case, the look and feel of the product details will be coming something like this. You see here, I mean, I just use the existing UI look and feel of it, and I'm just using even ratings also been added over here. Okay. So this is how AI has to be used in your projects. It is not like as it is complete project will be created. This is what expected from you guys to make the things faster. At the same time, actual business logic, you are the one who is going to use it. At the same time, you need to be a good prompt engineer also over here. Okay. You see here this much a bigger prompt you have given to make it understand what actually you needed. Okay. So any questions up to this? We are still pending with how do we protect your routings. You see here, by default, if someone knows that slash product details, he's directly going with the product details. But what we need to do is we need to stop him. Don't let him show the product details uh, until you are a logged in user. Okay, just give a minute, guys. For offline, projector is not working good. Let's see if it is still coming. We can see it. Okay. So yeah, any questions up to this? You can unmute if you want to speak out. So could you please go through the UI code? It's simple, Amresh. Okay. One thing what they have done is they have kept one styles and all. Just move it to the CSS class. Otherwise, the UI is simple different. You created a div, under that creating an image. I mean, these things we have done many number of times. Maybe look into this. Let me know if you have any uh, particular line you have an issue, Amrish. Okay. Anyone, any questions up to this? Can we go forward? Okay. Now, the next question, the next requirement, what we have is when the user clicks on this add to cart, my expectation is this cart count also has to get updated. Okay. Right now, this cart count is in a different component. For example, when I click on this add to cart, you will be having an object. For example, let us say under your product details.tsx, I say const cart details is going to be set cart details, set cart details is going to be use state of object. Okay. And whenever user clicks on this button add to cart, we are not invoking any of the method. Let us say on click handle add to cart. handle add to cart. Now what this guy will get is he has to get the ID of the product which is been added, isn't it? Now where is the ID of this product? If you inspect this guy, let's go to console or network. You see under the array, there is something called as ID. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, in that case, I can't directly call this handle to add to cart. Instead, handle cart. And for this guy, I say product.id, isn't it? Dot ID. Product ID. Okay, now when I click on add to cart, you will get to know what is the product which is getting added. Okay, whatever the product you're clicking, you're getting the product ID of it. Now what I have to do is, in the background, you need to have what we need to have when I click on add to cart. We need to have the product ID here, right? This product ID, do I need to have the, okay, for now, we go in the assumption that we don't have an option of adding multiple products. We'll go with single product. Okay. So in that case, I will say some array and what I will say is set cart product details. Okay. But the problem is you state if it is going to be an array. Okay. The problem is when we are trying to insert the data, that will be like, for example, he's clicking on product 2. Okay, let us write the logic, guys. Let us write the logic of adding multiple products also. Okay, what we will do is if card details if card details of product ID, if it is having that guy, then you do something else. If it is not there, I will say card details of product. Okay, obviously you cannot set the data directly, right? So I'll say var temp data is equal to card details. Now what I do is temp details of so and so, temp details of product ID, temp details of product ID is equal to an object with count, something called as 1. Temp data of product ID is equal to so and so. Okay. But after that, we need to set the card details, set card details as temp data. And let us see this card details on the page. Nothing is going to happen. Why the reason? The reason we are already setting it, right? Okay, let us console this. Temp data. Inspect this, go for console. This is so and so. Whenever I click on add to cart, this is the temp data. ID is 1, your count is 1. Very good. If I click on add to cart, ID is so and so. This is how it is coming. Okay, very good. But okay, in other case, what I have to do, if the existing product data is there, then what I have to do is I need to say temp data of product ID dot count plus plus. If it is already existing, I need to increment the count. If it is not existing, I need to add it. Okay, let us see. Now, when I click on add to cart, you see here, first product has count of 2, second product has count of 1. If I, it should be of cart details. Now, what is cart details? Cart details, for that, we need to specify the type, right? Type, something called as cart details is going to be an object where we are going to say uh, it is so and so, where we are going to have a count which will be a number, right? Now this card details, where is that? This should be array of card details. Is it is array? Card details is going to be an object. No, it should be an array. Is not assignable to type card details. What is missing here? Same way. Any other questions?
Sir, line number 23. So
Line
first you are
number 23. Okay.
yeah. So first you are using the card details, and after that you are setting the card details. Sir, can you please explain it? I'm not getting that
Okay.
exactly.
What I'm doing is, before I'm modifying, I'm taking the data. Our expectation is, cart details is going to be an empty object. Sorry, it will be an array. For example, user is adding something called as product one. My expectation is, under the cart details, there should be an object with ID called as so and so. Under that, there will be an object count with something called as one. This is my expectation whenever user adds product one. Now, when the user is adding product two, do I need to take this existing card details to here? Then what I'm doing here, I'm taking the existing guy. For the two guy, I'm just making it as two. Okay, let us come back here. You see, by default, I'm taking what is the existing card details. Initially, it will be an empty array, but later it will be filled, right? Now I'm checking, is the product is already added? If the product already added, then just increment count. If the product is newly added, then, sorry, if the product is already, sorry, this is newly added, add the ID entry. Am I clear, Pallavi?
Yes,
Or
sir.
still a question? Okay. Anyone else? Any other questions? Okay. So now, if
Yeah,
you see
how can I
here,
write the override logic, sir? Like if I want to override the existing product and I want to add the only new one. So in this case, like
or else if you really want to go with overriding, right? Uh, I mean, you mean to say here I will be going with set card details, comma, one object you need to add. And that object need to be only regarding this product ID. In fact, that will be a big logic instead of this. This will be more simpler. Uh, then in that case, temp data is equal to, I can say, card details of product ID. Let's take only that product ID. Now the temp details, if temp data, if the temp data is existing, okay, if the temp data is existing, then this is fine. Else, temp data of product ID. Temp data is equal to undefined, you'll get it. Now this is, no, in this case it will be coming like undefined. Now temp data is equal to, I need to make a JSON object. Okay, card details with this temp data. Only specific known property. Okay, this we'll see the definitions, etc. and all. Type, I think temp data, I can say any for now. Okay, so temp data is many, which is your product details. If it is existing, we'll say temp data product or count plus and this guy. Okay, yeah. Let us see this guy. Now I click on add data. This is your temp data. When I click on this add data, this is your temp data. Again, when I click on this temp data is not incrementing. You see, that is the problem. If I click on another time, why the temp data is not going? Card details of product data.
okay, sir. I think you can continue. So maybe we'll try in offline.
Sorry?
Maybe I will try in offline, sir. Maybe you can
No, that's
continue.
fine. We'll just modify it. We'll see that console.log. Temp data. Let us see what we are getting initially. Okay, when I click on one thing, initially it is undefined, expected. Later it becomes so and so, right? Initially it is empty. Now it is coming over here.
So like once we click the
Now, when it is first guy, when I'm clicking on add to cart, why it is coming as undefined? It should not come, right? That is the problem. Why it is coming as undefined?
Sir,
After
here you
that,
are making data as a blank
sorry,
object. In line number 20, no, but you are initializing the value.
one second. Card details is going to become an object only, right? That is what we have given. Card details, it is not array, it should be an object. Okay. Now card details of so and so is so and so. Card details dot temp data. Okay, let us see this. Initially it is undefined, later it has become one. Very good. But if I do it once again, why it is coming as undefined, man? Card details is going to be product ID. Implies this set card details is not working fine. Set card details. Why this temp data is also going here? No way. Add to cart. Yeah, now it is one count. If I click on add to cart, cannot read properties of undefined count. Temp data of product ID is not getting it. Why so? Temp data initially is again undefined. This guy, one is count. If we already have it, somewhere we are missing. This is the temp data finally. This is the temp data initially. If I click on add to cart, initially it is undefined. Very good. If I click on add to cart, initially now it is having a guy. Okay. Now temp data of one of count. Temp data of product ID, that should be fine. Product ID, it is a number. Temp data of one dot count should be working good. Why the reason it is not working? Temp data is becoming count. Okay. You know, initially when I click on add to cart, this is what we have temp data. When I click on again, the temp data is getting undefined. Now this temp data is so in. Oh, this guy is an object. Over here. So initially it will be temp data. The temp data is undefined. Okay. Now I'm going undefined. I will not go here. I'll come here. Temp data is an empty object. Now you're creating it. Very good. This is fine. But now if I go with another add to cart, temp data is going to be count equal to 1. You know, this should not be the case. It should not be the case. The case should be temp data is equal to temp data is actually getting the count only, but we should not get only the count. We should even get this product details also. Temp data of product ID is equal to this temp. Or else, let's modify a small thing. I'll say var obj is equal to empty object obj dot obj of product ID is equal to this temp data. Now you take this obj. Okay. Okay, this guy is any, I will say for now.
Sir, can we do one thing? So instead of counter plus plus, so plus equals to 1. Line number 29.
Line number
29.
29. Yeah,
We are doing
plus is
counter plus plus.
but the problem is it is not throwing the issue because of whether it is not throwing the issue because of whether you are using plus plus operator or the plus one, right? It is saying that I couldn't able to access this guy. Okay, but anyway, I think I got it. Let me show you. So this guy temp is equal to count. Now in that case, temp dot count, temp of count, but the fourth one is so and so. First guy got added thrice. Second one got added once. Now let us say second one. I'm clicking on add to cart again. You see second one is also become. Okay, that is good. This is where logically we need to be strong. We should not take this much time in actually. So this is where we can't get help of AI here. I mean, to make that AI understand, we have to train that guy with all the piece of code. But here you need to put our own logic. Okay, now the card details are there here. You see, this is how the data is getting added. But the question is, when I click on view card, okay, when I click on this card guy, I need to go with something called as view card, where I need to see only this card details. At the same time, when I am adding any of the item, card TSX. So here you should able to access it. Now, for this, what should I go? How do I share the data between these components? That is where we will be going with something called as state management system. Okay, we are already so much clear with how do we implement the React state management, Redux state management. How do we do? At the same time, RTK Redux toolkit also we have already covered. So let us implement Redux toolkit in order to implement the state management in our application. Let us go with step by step. We'll go with all the steps which we have already created. Okay, so the first thing is Redux. Uh, do we have the steps? Yeah. How to share data between components? If you see here, how to share data between the component, there are different ways, relative components, etc. and all. But obviously, this is the bigger one where without any independent, without the component, without there is no relation between these components, we can still share the data. At the same time, not only downgrade or upgrade, like we should have both update changes and all. That is the reason I'm going with the Redux here. But when do we call with the Redux? Combination of use context. I'm not even going with the lighter Redux because lighter Redux is we are not going to depend upon RTK. We'll be using the use reducer and use context. Okay. But even without that, I would like to go with directly the RTK tool, Redux toolkit. As we already know, it's a third-party JavaScript library. The very first thing what we need to do is and create a references store, reducer, use selector, use dispatch. These all methods, single page, I think, yeah. So first thing, did we haven't added the steps there? How do we add this? I think like this is where we discussed about the slicer, where the action and reducer will be having a combination, right? First thing is you need to create a store. At the same time, we need to use the provider also, right? So let us go with the example what we have already created. So if we go into our example, this is the Redux example what we have created. Okay, first thing is you need to have a slicer and you need to have a store.js. And how do you create a store? This is how it is. So first thing what I'm creating in our project is okay, online shopping web server. No, under this src we have a cert so and so. Under that I'm creating a project which is Redux state. Under that you need to have a slice.js file, store.js file. Okay, I will call this guy as cart slice. Okay, obviously you are exporting the reducers here. Now when I say cart slice, create a slicer here. Name is cart. Okay, or else user cart. Initial value is value 0, count 0, name so and so. Instead of that, I don't have any type of initial state in the cart. Okay, it will be empty. Reducer, which is increment the counter. Increment and decrement, I'll get the same. Update name, I'm not going to use any of this. Okay, so let us see how you're actually getting the store. Then we'll try to implement this. Now increment and decrement that is coming like this. When we were actually doing the operation of incrementing and decrementing, instead of that, we will directly pass the product data and that product data will be updated. Okay, we'll see that first. And under this guy, I'm getting this. What we need to do is, if you go to your app.js6, where I was using the provider, right? You see, this is how you need to provide the provider component and what is the store which you are using here, isn't it? Where the provider is coming from React Redux. Okay, so let's come back where store is going to be the store. So how I'm going to import the store here? I say import store from dot slash components slash no slash we create a Redux state slash store. Why it is throwing an error? Store is declared, but its value never used. Okay, I will use you guys over here. This is how I could able to inject a store to our application. But why it is an error?
I think we
Could
need to
not
install the Redux npm install.
Sorry. Oh, why it is coming from? Yeah, Redux state is the one what we created, right?
No, I think the node models are we need to install.
We already installed, right? We have installed it. We have installed this Redux toolkit. We have installed and React Redux also we have installed.
Are we exporting from there?
How we are importing? Okay, what it is saying is
Go to that slice.js.
1 second. From dot slash Redux state slash. Why there is nothing in your Redux state? There is, right? Store.js. let's make it as TS files. Cannot find a declaration file. Store.ts.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
In slice file, line number 22, that we are exporting counter slice. We have to export that cart slice dot action.
Yes, it should